Welcome back to First Watch. It's Will.
I'm Mike.
It's Mike. This is the show that's part reaction, part review. Today we're talking about Zombie.
Yeah.
The Italian horror film directed by Lucio Fulci. This came out in 1979. And what we have here is the Blue Underground triple disc Blu-ray release. There's a 4K restoration of this movie, and so this is the I can't say it.
Blu-ray.
The Blu-ray release of that restoration that also comes with the soundtrack CD, which is right here, which is awesome because the soundtrack for this movie is super cool. Yeah, especially if you like we both really like minimalist kind of synthesizer type stuff, like John Carpenter, that kind of stuff. I mean, what is there to say about this movie? So it's a lenticular cover too. I don't know how well it comes across, but there are 3 versions of the lenticular cover. So you can
see that, but
so this one is actually a major spoiler if you haven't seen the movie. I'll just say that it's the Brooklyn Bridge, and if you can't see it, I won't tell you what's on the Brooklyn Bridge. But here we have the this is a really famous scene where the zombie comes out of the grave with the worms in his eyes. And speaking of eyes, the eyeball scene. What? I truly had never seen this. I know that we call this show First Watch, but I truly had never seen this movie before. You are familiar with this movie, right?
I'd seen it once, maybe 10 years ago. I was in a zone basically where I was watching a lot of these old Italian horror films and other horror films like this, like Cannibal Holocaust, like some of those films like that, and I didn't really know. I didn't know about that scene when I first saw it too, and I was like, "Oh no, don't do it." You could if for some reason you don't want to watch the movie and you just want to see that scene. I'm sure if you go to YouTube and Google and find it, you can
if
find it.
It's on YouTube, we'll put a link in the description of the video.
It's gnarly. It's very disgusting, and it's just anything with the eye makes you very uncomfortable.
But one of the things that I found so interesting about this movie, and so after we watched the movie, there's a really great interview on here with an author who wrote a book about either Fulci or Italian zombie cinema, and he talks about how this movie was written as kind of like an action movie, and then Dawn of the Dead
came out before,
right? But it was produced, or the Italian version was created by Dario Argento, and Goblin did the score. And Goblin is an Italian band, right? And so
they did Suspiria as well.
After they shot the movie was sent to Italy before it came out in theaters so that Dario Argento could work on it and so Goblin could do the score. Mm-hmm. So according to this author, people around the studio in Italy were talking about Dawn of the Dead, like, holy shit, there's this zombie movie. It's like the violence is crazy, like there's social commentary, and it's like very revolutionary kind of movie that's going to change the way people make these types of films. And the people who wrote the script for this got wind of that and rewrote this as a zombie movie. Yeah. And then they brought on Fulci, who had directed a ton of stuff before this and hadn't really done horror. And his visual sense and his talent, I think, and experience as a filmmaker elevated this above basically like a trashy kind of like horror.
It's really like, it could have very easily been a trashy horror film, trashy zombie film. And it really isn't. It's very well made. The cinematography is very nice. The score is great.
It's just like spooky.
It's very, because it's like, they go to this island and you're on this island and there's no way really off of it. Not an easy way to get off. And the zombies,
and of course the boat,
and the boats
there's some problem with the boat.
And the zombies on this are not the like modern ones where they run around. They're very slow. But to me, that's really scary because it's again like a force of nature. They're coming. There's nothing much you can do to stop them because there's so many of them, and they're slowly coming, and you're just like watching them coming towards you, and it's like, fuck, they're gonna kill me.
And well, that's what's great about I really love the first horror movie I ever saw was Night of the Living Dead when I was a kid. I don't know why, but my dad decided to show it to us.
I can't even remember my first one.
Way too young to see it, but that to me is like my foundation in zombies and in horror movies. So, and this is really very much like a continuation of that Romero-esque like aesthetic and approach to making these movies. Something else that I really liked about this movie is that it's very innovative in the way it shocks you.
Yeah,
as I think like so many horror movies, especially if you see a lot of them, they do the same stuff and they get boring and they're not actually scary and they're not shocking either. And this, I wasn't scared by this movie, but you just don't expect to see what you're seeing. Like the thing with the eyeball, there's that scene where all those zombies are just sitting there eating that woman really slowly.
It's very gory and graphic.
There's a scene where someone gets and no spoilers here, but there's like someone gets like their whole
Tracheas,
throat bitten out. So it's not just like, oh, they got a bite and there's arterial spray or whatever. It like comes like peeling off and and it's grotesque.
It's very grotesque.
It's very bloody and gory, but it's also really innovative, and the way it's done is visually. Actually, Guillermo del Toro does an intro to this edition of the movie, which is, I'm a huge Guillermo del Toro fan. I love like monster movies.
That was pretty cool.
And he talks about how like in Grindhouse cinema, in genre cinema, in horror, in zombie films, this has some of the most beautiful and striking and surreal and like strange imagery you will ever see. And I totally agree with that.
And in the afterward that we watched, there's a talk about how these zombies are so much different than the ones from Dawn of the Dead. Dawn of the Dead, like, they almost look human, just like blue and discolored.
But which has to do with, obviously, George Romero's making a point about...
These, on the other hand, are just like decaying, and there's maggots and worms coming out. They're very sick. And I'd be remiss if I didn't mention, like, one of the most famous scenes from any horror film is when the woman goes scuba diving in the ocean, and she's shown, and a shark comes by, and she's freaked out. Obviously, it's a shark, so she's kind of like hanging down by the corals to wait till the shark goes away. And like a zombie reaches out and grabs her down there. She manages to get away. But the zombie and the shark fight each other. And the shark bites the zombie and the zombie bites the shark. And it's amazing.
It's a very famous scene too.
And it's but it's not CGI. They really shot it. And it's like a real... I think it was a real diver.
It's the guy who trained the shark fought the shark. Yeah, and it's a tiger shark, which is a really aggressive. Yeah. Like they sedated the crap out of the shark, and then they fed it a bunch so it wouldn't be hungry. And then the guy got in zombie makeup.
And he had his arm in the mouth. I'm guessing it wasn't his arm. Like they probably a prosthetic or something. Arm, but like it was amazing.
But I mean, but the thing that's interesting about that is that. It's kitschy and it's ridiculous and it's really fun, but it's also that's like a surreal, like underwater photography, the way people move underwater, someone fighting a real shark, it's not fake. And this movie has that in spades. Like it has genuinely surreal imagery where I really like kind of like, I love Gaspar Noé and I love like abstract cinema and stuff like that. And if you were to take these scenes out of the context of a zombie movie, they are genuinely surreal and just like very beautiful in this very kind of weird abstract way. And it's so if you're like a fan of like pure visual cinema, you have to check this movie out.
Check it out. So yeah, I mean, in terms of zombie movies, this ranks right up there with some of the best. If you like gory movies, if you like suspenseful movies, if you like movies with strangely beautiful scores.
The score is great.
Check it out. Great movie. If you like any of the zombie type movies like Dawn of the Dead, Day of the Dead, anything like that.
There's a buttload of...
So many extra features on
There's like multiple audio commentaries, there's interviews, there's making of stuff. It's 2 discs, and both discs have bonus features in addition to the movie. Yeah, so again, this is Blue Underground. Blue Underground did the edition of Maniac, which we did an episode on, which we also both really loved. And because these are 4K restorations, the picture quality is amazing. Like so we watched these on your PlayStation, right?
Yeah, my PS4.
And on giant, how big is your TV?
It's 55-inch.
55-inch TV. So
it was awesome.
And it looks awesome. Yeah, and it's like
cool.
I really obviously it's shot on film and you can see like the character of the film and stuff. It's really cool. So highly recommended from me.
Me as well. Check it out. I remember loving it the first time I saw it. Loved it the second time I saw it.
I want to see more Italian. Maybe we'll do a whole series on Italian horror movies because I've seen like maybe 3 of them.
I've seen a fair bit.
Zombie, go check it out.
Oh, yeah.